When a certain creature repeatedly appears right in your path, or perhaps moves in a distinctly unusual manner, or even seems to hold your gaze with a knowing look, you aren't dealing with a simple coincidence. You are being positioned directly in the middle of an urgent message. Heaven doesn't need to shout its warnings. It uses signals and symbols. Only those whose spirits are tuned in, those who are spiritually awake, can truly decipher this ancient, sacred language. This is about elevating your awareness beyond the five senses. There are moments we all experience when a deep sense of unease or unsettledness washes over our spirit, and we can't logically explain the source. It's a moment when the mundane world feels slightly out of focus, and an unseen energy seems to stir and shift in the very atmosphere around you. This is precisely when the divine begins to send a vital warning to those he has chosen. He utilizes what most people simply dismiss as a gut feeling or instinct to deploy a coded layer of protection around you. These signs are never intended to paralyze you with fear, but rather to fully prepare you for what's coming. Because before every significant challenge, every deep test, every major turning point in your life, the heavens unfailingly provide a sign. The truly crucial question isn't whether the sign will come, it's whether you will possess the clarity to see it. Will your spirit be sensitive enough to sense it before the moment of decision or danger arrives? Today I'm going to draw back the curtain and reveal 7 specific creatures that the Almighty uses as powerful spiritual alarms, acting as living, breathing messengers positioned between you and impending danger. Each one of these creatures vibrates at a unique divine frequency, an energy signature that effortlessly cuts through the excessive noise of the world to resonate deep within your own awareness. These creatures don't merely cross your path by chance. They interrupt it, because something fundamental is shifting around you, and heaven refuses to allow you to be touched by it unprepared. I urge you to listen with intense focus, because once you finally grasp and understand this ancient, spiritual language, you will never again have to walk blind or uncertain. You will move forward with a deep, unwavering divine awareness, feeling protected, expertly guided, and thoroughly prepared for what others around you can't even begin to perceive. Remember, this message isn't meant for everyone in the world. It is specifically for those who already feel this truth stirring in their inner spirit. Those who deep down know they are not meant for an ordinary existence. If you find yourself hearing this message right now, it is because your soul was absolutely meant to. There is nothing accidental about you being in this very moment. So before we dive into the specific signs, seal this revelation into your spirit with an act of faith. Take a moment and tap the like button as a powerful public declaration that you are fully open to receiving this divine awareness. If you haven't yet, subscribe, because what you are about to internalize will permanently open your spiritual eyes. And finally, comment the number 99 below, because 99 represents the loving shepherd who never stops searching for the one that was nearly lost. It's the ultimate sign that heaven's gaze is perpetually upon those it cherishes. Write it as your signal to the universe. I am awake. I am protected. I am chosen. The raven, the eye of deception. Let's begin with the raven, the dark feathered eye that sees right through hidden deception. There's a profound reason this bird was chosen to fly out during the great storm in Noah's biblical account. It exists at the very border between life and mystery, light and shadow. When a raven intersects your path, the very atmosphere feels altered. Time seems to momentarily slow down, and something deep within your spirit stirs. This is not a coincidence. It is a direct, urgent communication. The raven is not a harbinger of darkness. It is a bringer of awareness. It possesses the rare ability to see through the intricate illusions that are totally invisible to the human eye. Sudden presence signifies that deception is drawing near. When you see it, know that a mask is about to fall from a person, or a seemingly innocent smile is concealing true poison. The raven's presence is heaven's quiet instruction to you. Look again and look deeper. Understand that the enemy rarely attacks with loud noise or obvious malice. He often attacks with carefully constructed charm. And the raven knows this secret. It watches the unseen, strategic moves that happen behind friendly eyes, behind seemingly kind words, or hidden within the disguise of a new opportunity. If you repeatedly hear its distinct call, or if you see it land nearby and stare as if it already knows your deepest secret, Pay absolute attention. This is a moment where God may be specifically speaking to you. The raven's core message is not one of fear, but of profound foresight. It acts as a spiritual alarm, clearly warning you, not every door that opens wide is meant for you. Not every alliance being offered is divinely inspired. Not every hand extended toward you originates from the light. In ancient history, wise prophets meticulously watched the flight patterns of birds to discern when danger was approaching. That same deep instinct remains active within you today. Yet so few are spiritually awake enough to feel it. The raven serves as God's constant reminder that the chosen ones must learn to see far beyond the faces they meet, beyond the smooth words they hear, and beyond what simply appears safe and comfortable. This is because deception almost never presents itself as evil. It arrives dressed in comfort. It comes disguised as something you passionately wanted, something you prayed for, or something you thought was finally, rightfully yours. The raven interrupts that dangerous illusion before it completely consumes you. When you encounter the raven, don't instinctually run from it. Instead, reflect deeply. Ask yourself, who in my immediate circle drains my inner peace when I'm not actively looking? Whose praise feels subtly hollow? Where am I knowingly ignoring what my inner spirit already recognizes as true? The raven's purpose is never to accuse. It is to sharpen you. It comes to bring your spiritual vision into sharp, precise focus before a betrayal can strike. You may not even realize it, but every time you sense an inexplicable unease around a particular person and cannot articulate why, the raven has likely already been hovering nearby. It warns you before the metaphorical knife is drawn. It signals to you well before the loss is final. It is the powerful symbol of divine intelligence, a layer of protection, intentionally wrapped in mystery. This is because the Creator will never allow His chosen people to be blindsided, not when they are truly listening and staying aware. Perhaps, just perhaps, that deep, unsettling presence you've been feeling lately wasn't just ordinary anxiety. It was your powerful discernment finally awakening. So the next time the raven appears, always remember, its striking shadow is not your enemy. It is your shield. It appears to gently remind you that you see farther and deeper than you currently believe. Your spirit already possesses the knowledge your physical eyes have yet to confirm. Listen carefully to the silence that exists between its cries, for that is precisely where the warning resides. Because sometimes the greatest defense you possess isn't the ability to fight. It's the ability to see, and when the raven appears, something significant around you is actively being revealed. Stay still. Stay alert, because that vital revelation is already in motion and coming for you. There's an ancient, profound reason why the dog has universally earned the title of man's best friend. It's not just for their unwavering loyalty, but for their deep, powerful, and almost ancient connection to the unseen world. While your eyes are focused on the surface of things, theirs are capable of piercing right through to what is hidden beneath. A dog doesn't simply bark. It senses. It doesn't just guard. It discerns. When a dog suddenly begins to howl at seemingly nothing, or stares intensely into an empty corner of a room, or starts pacing with unexplained nervousness, know that something fundamental in the atmosphere has deeply shifted. What you perceive as absolute silence, they perceive as a clear signal. Their spiritual awareness is already feeling what your own is about to encounter. That uneasy, mournful bark at the stroke of midnight is not random. It is a message. It is the spiritual realm's alarm system being triggered before danger physically manifests. When true darkness approaches, or when a negative, draining energy attempts to breach your sacred space, a dog will react instantaneously, before your conscious mind can even process or name it. They pick up frequencies that your spirit whispers, not your physical ears. That moment when your beloved pet becomes restless, hyper-alert, or seems to be actively guarding something invisible, stop what you are doing and feel with them. This is not some old-fashioned superstition. This is true synchronization. The divine always has subtle ways of protecting you through what seems utterly ordinary. And one of the most powerful of these ways has 4 legs and eyes that effortlessly see the unseen. You might be tempted to think it's a mere coincidence that a dog cries just before a piece of bad news, or that it aggressively refuses to approach certain people. But what if it's so much more than that? What if that dog is being actively used by the Creator as an intercessor in fur, standing as a powerful spiritual barrier between you and an attack you didn't even know was forming? Some creatures are not merely sent into your life to entertain you. They are sent to cover you. When a dog's behavior changes dramatically and suddenly, it's not always a sign of fear. It is a sign of deep discernment. They are capable of feeling minute shifts in vibration, the onset of emotional storms, and energies that fundamentally do not belong in your space. They guard your home, not just with their teeth, but with their intense spiritual presence. When they howl deeply into the night, they are announcing to the invisible forces, "You cannot enter here." They become soldiers of peace, fiercely protecting what is sacred to you, your physical space, your precious energy, and your ultimate destiny. And perhaps this is why a dog will often follow you closely when your heart is heavy. They instinctively know when your soul is trembling, long before your own words dare to admit it. Their loving eyes are a perfect mirror of unseen love, and their actions are the clearest language of true spiritual defense. Some people claim they only protect their owner, but the deeper truth is that they are protecting the anointing upon their owner. They guard the sacred assignment you carry. That's precisely why the deep, unconditional bond between a chosen one and a dog is never just physical or emotional. It is covenantal. So the very next time you hear that haunting howl in the deep middle of the night, don't immediately tremble with fear. Instead, discern. Instead of fear, allow a wave of deep gratitude to rise in your spirit, because that distinct sound may be the confirming echo of your protection being sealed. It is the moment when heaven confirms, "I am actively watching over you." Always remember, darkness often moves with quiet stealth, but God's faithful guardians move much, much quicker. Sometimes the insistent barking you find irritating is the very noise that is successfully keeping you safe. And when that unique event happens again, pause and take a moment. There is an unseen force moving around you, something your physical eyes cannot see, but something your dedicated protector has already completely intercepted. Stay calm, stay covered, because if even the created world guards you this fiercely, imagine the power of what the Creator is orchestrating in the unseen. The owl is not, as many believe, a creature of fear. It is fundamentally a creature of sight. It does not flee from the enveloping darkness. It rules within it. While the rest of the world sleeps soundly, the owl remains vigilant, watching. While the world descends into quietude, the owl begins to speak its ancient wisdom. When night falls and natural confusion spreads, the owl awakens, carrying the focused eyes of heaven. Spiritually, the appearance of the owl signifies that deep, hidden truths are preparing to shatter the surrounding deception. It is no mere coincidence that its incredible vision is capable of piercing the thickest dark. It is a profound reflection of divine intelligence. God intentionally sends this particular messenger to those who are truly ready and prepared to see what everyone else consistently denies. When the owl shows up in your life, whether in a dream, a distinct image, or even as a sudden symbol that keeps recurring, it is not a random event. It is heaven whispering with authority, "You are about to know the truth." This truth could be about someone's hidden intentions, about a specific life path you've been deeply uncertain about taking, or even the underlying reason why past events unfolded exactly as they did. The owl doesn't immediately bring the answers. It brings illumination. It is sent to sharpen your inner sight, so that you can see clearly through superficial appearances, through subtle manipulation, and through false charm. It grants you the necessary courage to finally face what you have previously refused to notice or acknowledge. Many people fear the owl simply because it appears in silence, and silence itself can be profoundly uncomfortable. But remember, silence is the fertile ground where revelation is born. When the owl hoots in the distance, it is not announcing death. It is announcing exposure. Somewhere in your life, a mask is finally about to drop. What has been meticulously hidden will be forced into the intense light, not through your effort, but purely by divine timing. The owl begins to move when the lies in an environment are no longer sustainable. When deception starts to tremble under the undeniable weight of truth, it doesn't arrive to scare you away. It arrives to set you absolutely free. Because in all of existence, nothing is more liberating or empowering than genuine clarity. The owl's wings carry an ancient, powerful wisdom, the wisdom to remain perfectly calm within the darkness until the full truth reveals itself in its own time. It is here to teach the chosen ones that true discernment is not about harshly judging others, but about seeing things spiritually. When you consistently operate from a place of deep discernment, no lie or illusion can ever truly enslave you. You begin to instinctively perceive the underlying energy behind words, the true intentions behind smiles, and the profound meaning within silence. The owl is sent to awaken that vital spiritual gift within you. Sometimes it will appear right before a major, life-altering revelation. It shows up when someone's loyalty is tested, when a great illusion is about to crumble, or when the entire spiritual atmosphere around you begins its necessary shift. If you see it, do not panic. Instead, prepare. The veil between worlds is thinning rapidly. You are about to completely understand what once deeply confused you. This is the great mercy of God. He never allows his chosen ones to remain in the dark for an extended period. The owl's powerful cry in the night is heaven's unambiguous way of saying, "The truth is coming. Brace yourself." And when that truth arrives, you will not be shaken because the revelation will not destroy you. It will only define you more powerfully than ever before. The moment you stop fearing the night begins revealing its deep secrets to you. That is the incredible power of the owl. It stands perfectly balanced between shadow and light, constantly reminding you that both forces exist only to serve your ultimate awakening. So the next time you hear that haunting sound echoing mysteriously through the darkness, don't shrink back in fear. Listen intently. Something deeply hidden is unraveling now. Someone's mask is definitively slipping. A revelation is already on its way, destined for you. The owl does not call out to warn you that the darkness is near. It calls out to tell you that the intense light is about to break right through it. When the enigmatic serpent appears, whether in a vivid dream, in waking life, or even as an unbidden powerful thought you cannot explain, something spiritually sacred is taking place. This is emphatically not an omen designed to create fear. It is a decisive divine interception. The serpent arrives to powerfully expose what has been strategically moving in silence all around you. It comes when the air becomes heavy and thick with concealed motives. It appears when something that superficially appeared to be a genuine blessing begins to carry the subtle, unmistakable scent of danger. Its characteristic slithering motion perfectly mirrors the way deep deception operates. Slow, absolutely silent, and meticulously strategic. It does not rush to strike. It waits patiently until you let down your spiritual guard. Spiritually, the serpent acts as a precise mirror of your own awareness. It reveals the critical difference between a momentary temptation and perfect divine timing, between a spiritual door that is truly holy and one that is merely a deceptive disguise. When you see it, the message is starkly clear. Be alert, chosen one. Something or someone very close to you is speaking a double language. Not every source of light is holy. Some glimmer just enough to successfully pull you closer to the awaiting trap. That is precisely why the serpent appears. Not to paralyze you with fear, but to powerfully activate you. God sends it as a living, unmistakable symbol of discernment, marking the moment right before the illusion finally collapses. You may feel inexplicably uneasy, restless, or strangely suspicious without any rational explanation. That is not paranoia. That is your powerful discernment actively awakening. The serpent's specific presence ignites that spiritual instinct, the same instinct that warns you precisely before a betrayal, the same one that whispers when a decision looks suspiciously too easy, too perfect, or too overly shiny. Remember this universal truth: deception never introduces itself as deception. It always comes carefully wrapped in opportunity, charm, or something that seems entirely harmless. The serpent shows up to immediately tear the wrapping before you, unintentionally unwrap your own destruction. But this creature also carries a sacred ancient duality. The same serpent that orchestrated the deception in Eden was later used by God himself in the desert, lifted high by Moses as a potent symbol of healing. This means that not every serpent encounter is solely focused on the enemy's actions. Sometimes it is profoundly about you. When it appears repeatedly, it may not be warning you about others nearby. It may be urgently calling you to spiritually shed something, to intentionally leave behind an old version of yourself that simply cannot survive in the new. Higher elevation God is meticulously preparing for you. Serpents shed their skin because they naturally outgrow it. Perhaps your old, comfortable habits, your outdated attachments, or your former identity are now suffocating your new spirit. Heaven is saying it is urgently time to transform before the true test arrives. You see, spiritual deception is not always external. Sometimes it is deeply internal. The lies you tell yourself just to remain where it feels comfortable. The serpent appears as both a profound warning and a vital teacher. Purify your space. Renew your spiritual strength. Become significantly lighter for what is coming next. Every single chosen one faces the serpent's energy before their destiny shifts. Every prophet, every awakened soul must directly confront the energy of deception before they are capable of carrying pure truth. So if the serpent appears in your path, in a vision, a dream, or in waking life, do not fear it. Do not curse it, decode it. Ask clearly, what is the Creator trying to show me through the powerful symbol of the serpent? You may be amazed to discover that what initially felt like extreme danger is actually careful preparation. The serpent warns, but it also intensely refines you. It tests the very depth of your spiritual discernment and your unwavering ability to choose difficult truth over easy comfort. It forces you to clearly see who stands beside you for a true, shared purpose, and who stands there merely for temporary convenience. And as you listen intently, as you pray, as you successfully detach from the false, you ultimately become immune to deception. The serpent completely loses its power when the chosen one remains fully awake and aware. So, when it inevitably appears again, do not panic. Perceive, because if the serpent is close, it means a powerful test is imminent. But so is an undeniable breakthrough. The very sign that once caused you terror now becomes your clear signal to rise higher. Sharper, purer, and utterly unstoppable. There is an undeniable, ancient quality to the unwavering gaze of a cat, something that effortlessly pierces through layers of illusion and reaches straight into the invisible realm. When an unfamiliar cat crosses your path, stops and locks eyes with you, the entire world seems to pause around the edges. In that precise moment, creation itself is softly whispering, "Be aware." Cats don't just see the world. They feel it. They are the powerful guardians of vibration, sensitive detectors of energy, and silent translators of the unseen. They instinctively know when the atmosphere has shifted, when a deep spiritual peace has been violently disturbed, or when malicious envy has silently entered through the disguised door of someone's heart. A cat's focused presence near you, particularly one that is not your own, is never arbitrary. It is a direct alert from the spiritual realm. Something significant around you has fundamentally changed. Maybe it's an insidious conversation spoken maliciously behind your back, a hidden surge of jealousy, or a draining, negative energy that has subtly attached itself to your space. Cats are experts at sensing what humans are determined to deny. Their sudden, focused appearance is heaven's gentle way of saying, "Shield your light right now," because when your inner spirit begins to glow with true, God-given radiance, the shadows immediately take notice. The chosen ones possess an energy that naturally attracts both genuine admiration and intense spiritual resistance. True light always draws both sincere worshippers and energetic thieves. The cat stands firmly on the border between the two, acting as a silent, unwavering guardian of your aura. Observe its behavior closely. If it circles low near your feet, adamantly refuses to leave, or watches you with an unblinking, focused stare, it is actively reading your environment, scanning for what you cannot yet name or perceive. Do not be afraid of this profound encounter. It is not a curse or an omen of ill will. It is a powerful confirmation. God allows the cat to appear, not to induce fear but to raise your awareness. It serves as an invisible warning that clearly states, your spirit is radiantly bright, but your surrounding atmosphere urgently needs cleansing. This is your divine cue to actively pray, to spiritually anoint your living space, and to sever any energetic cords that no longer belong connected to you. This is because some people choose not to attack you with obvious words. They attack you with intensely negative thoughts, with silent toxic envy, and with malicious comparisons that subtly poison the very air you breathe. Cats are the first to feel that poison. That is why they sometimes mysteriously hiss into seemingly empty space. That is why they will follow an unseen movement across the room. They are actively tracking spiritual interference. When you witness this behavior, do not panic. Cleanse your space. Speak a powerful declaration of protection over your life and your family. Surround yourself with praise and deep gratitude instead of paralyzing worry. The cat does not come to terrify you. It comes to wake you up. Its characteristic stillness carries an important divine instruction. It is heaven saying, guard the gifts I gave you. Protect your peace, your sacred calling, and your vital energy. This is because not everyone who smiles genuinely wants you to be shining your brightest. Not everyone who claps loudly is sincerely celebrating your light. The cat knows this deep truth. It instinctively senses false admiration skillfully disguised as kindness, and energy parasites expertly hiding behind the mask of friendship. And when it shows up repeatedly, it means the spiritual atmosphere is urgently calling for you to rise up, to reclaim your powerful spiritual authority, and to take back what was subtly being drained from your life force. So, if a cat appears to you again, staring, waiting, perfectly still, do not dismiss its presence. Instead, sincerely thank God for the warning. You are being reminded that your energy is profoundly holy, and that holiness must be aggressively defended. The cat is not a symbol of bad luck or misfortune. It is the silent soldier of discernment, intentionally sent to guard the light carriers of this world. Remember this truth. When spiritual darkness attempts to disguise itself, the cat will always be the first creature to see through it. Its eyes will track what yours simply cannot. Its intense stillness will speak precisely what heaven is trying to show you. And if you listen with your inner spirit, you will realize that the silence you perceived was never empty at all. It was divine protection watching over you, perfectly disguised. There is always a moment right before every significant life-altering shift, a moment when the very atmosphere grows heavy, not with a sense of dread, but with intense divine anticipation. That is precisely when the horse appears. Its large, soulful eyes reflect powerful motion. Its breath seems to carry a clear prophecy. Its unmistakable restlessness is not rebellion against order. It is a profound revelation. When a horse begins to vigorously pace, to paw the ground with its hooves, and to gaze intently toward distant, unseen horizons, heaven is softly but firmly whispering, something significant is about to move now. The horse is the ancient, powerful symbol of transition. It represents the critical bridge between where you currently stand and where your ultimate destiny demands that you be. It comes specifically to disrupt your current comfort zone before life inevitably does it for you. God uses the horse as a clear messenger to declare, the season of stagnant stillness is finally ending now. You may already be deeply feeling it. That strange, intense pressure within your chest, that powerful tug in your inner spirit, the pervasive sense that your current surroundings no longer seem to fit the expanse of your soul. That is not mere confusion. That is pure divine momentum. The horse arrives when stagnation has been allowed to linger for too long. It appears when your spiritual assignment requires a major acceleration. Spiritually, its natural agitation perfectly mirrors your own inner turmoil, the necessary internal storm that always precedes true, profound transformation. It is heaven actively preparing your soul for vigorous movement. Do not make the mistake of seeing this movement as chaotic. The shaking you feel is not a punishment for past actions. It is a precise positioning for future ones. God is actively breaking the routines and habits that have unintentionally become comfortable cages. He is intentionally loosening the ground directly beneath your feet, not with the intention of making you fall, but specifically to make you ride. The restless horse serves to awaken your courage, to call forth the powerful warrior that has been buried underneath hesitation and fear. It is heaven saying, stop fearing the unknown future. It is precisely where your greatest destiny lives. If the image of the horse appears in your dreams, visions, or even repeatedly in your waking path, understand this. Your timeline is dramatically shifting. New doors are aligning perfectly. Something huge is rearranging itself in the unseen realm to powerfully push you toward the very path you have always prayed for, even if it doesn't currently look like it. Remember, the horse does not gallop within comfort. It gallops directly into its calling. When you consciously resist change, you are, in essence, fighting your own prophecy. But when you choose to ride with it, you immediately align yourself with powerful divine motion. The horse is here to remind you that true faith is always in active movement. Sometimes the Spirit of God stirs up your life with the force of a storm, not with the intention to destroy your current life, but to deliver you into your new one. The very same winds that are currently unsettling the ground you stand on are the ones that will lift your wings to the sky. So, if you feel your life intensely shaking, your well-laid plans scattering, or your hard-won peace being challenged, know that it is not an ending. It is a spiritual ignition. The horse is intensely pawing at your soul, urgently urging you to mount up, to move forward, and to trust that every single shift is deeply sacred. And just as a magnificent, wild stallion can never be successfully caged, neither can a chosen one whose specific time to advance has finally come. This is your undeniable signal. Get ready now. The ride ahead may be fast and challenging, but it will be absolutely faithful. The powerful restlessness you feel is not mere anxiety. It is your destiny actively calling to you. And before our time together ends, you will fully grasp why sometimes heaven intentionally disrupts your temporary peace, just to lead you into your eternal purpose. The disordered flock, the storm before the calm. There are moments when the very heavens seem to physically tremble, not from booming thunder but from clear, visible signs. This happens when you look up and see birds, creatures usually so graceful and perfectly aligned, suddenly moving without rhythm. They are wildly circling, frantically scattering, or visibly fleeing from something completely unseen. Understand this profound truth. You are looking at a mirror of the invisible world. Birds are the natural, visible carriers of atmosphere. They instinctively move as one interconnected body, instantly responding to subtle spiritual shifts that human eyes cannot yet detect. When their harmony suddenly breaks into chaos, heaven is speaking. It is visually demonstrating that spiritual turbulence is quickly forming, not to frighten you into inaction, but to thoroughly prepare you for what's coming. God allows you to witness the disorder above so that you are prompted to establish order within your own spirit. When the flock turns chaotic, it is a perfect reflection of a hidden spiritual clash. Unseen energies are violently colliding. Carefully constructed lies are being exposed, and divine alignments are radically shifting in the spiritual realm. If this happens near you, pause, observe, and critically do not react emotionally. This is because the confusion that is attempting to enter your physical environment will always first appear as a sudden chaos in the air above. But what others perceive as a moment of panic, the chosen one immediately recognizes as a prophecy. The image of the disordered flock means that something is being deliberately unsettled, so that something much greater and truer can be powerfully revealed. Great storms do not begin forming on the stable ground. They always begin in the sky. And when you see the birds circling wildly, you are being granted a rare, sacred privilege to sense the spiritual storm well before it physically touches the earth. This is your explicit warning, your designated time for deep preparation. Do not, under any circumstances, absorb the confusion that is swirling around you. Anchor yourself firmly in prayer and in the Word. Because while others are running in fear from the noise and chaos, the awakened soul remains perfectly still and centered. You were never meant to mirror the chaos you see. You were meant to calm it. The chosen ones stand powerfully in the middle of turbulence with an unshaken peace, because they know that the shaking is only a temporary phenomenon. Even storms serve a greater purpose. They are necessary to clear paths that true, lasting peace will later walk through. If you witness a flock scattering, know this. Energies around you are rapidly rearranging themselves. People may be exposed. Truth will surface. Illusions will collapse. But this is not the end of things. It is a powerful cleansing. The spiritual climate is aggressively purging what cannot successfully continue into your next season of life. Stay grounded. Stay silent when others are panicking around you. This is because when everything on the outside seems utterly out of alignment, heaven is actively realigning things perfectly in the background. That is why the birds temporarily lose their order, because the air itself is decisively shifting into a new, higher phase. God intentionally lets you witness this temporary chaos so that you will never confuse divine movement with destruction. Remember always, confusion in the sky above doesn't signify defeat. It means revelation is profoundly close, so if you ever witness the sky erupt in this restless motion, do not fear it. Take a deep, centering breath and declare firmly, I am perfectly centered in the storm. Because very soon, the same powerful wind that scattered everything will settle back into a profound stillness. The birds will naturally regroup. The noise will eventually fade away, and what looked terrifyingly like disorder will ultimately reveal itself as a sacred, divine choreography. It will be undeniable proof that you were never in true danger. You were only being thoroughly prepared for a lasting peace. The real defining question is this: can you manage to stay perfectly calm and centered long enough to clearly see what the storm was truly trying to show you? Your awakened awareness. You can surely feel it now, can't you? That quiet, unshakable certainty deep in your spirit that absolutely nothing you've just heard was a coincidence. Every single word spoken, every image created, every creature described, it was heaven's powerful way of reminding you that you are seen. The Creator has been speaking directly to you all along, not always through loud thunder or grand, obvious miracles, but through the subtle, consistent movements of His magnificent creation, the raven that crossed your path, the loyal dog that wouldn't stop its howling, the silent owl that appeared in the dead of night, the cunning serpent that tested the very depth of your awareness, the mysterious cat that sensed what all others around you ignored, the restless horse that urgently called you toward necessary change, the birds that broke their formation just before the storm arrived. None of it was random. All of it was language, divine, encrypted, and precisely targeted. A complex code written not in human words but in pure, raw instinct. And now your spirit finally understands it. Heaven never abandons its chosen ones to wander in the dark. God faithfully surrounds His own with whispers that emanate from all of creation. These are warnings carefully wrapped in profound beauty and powerful protection, hidden in what the majority of people consistently overlook. The signs don't appear in your life to generate paralyzing fear. They appear specifically to awaken crystal-clear clarity. This is because those who learn to see the signs will successfully survive. Those who discern the truth will spiritually ascend, and those who choose to walk fully aware will walk completely unshaken. You were never meant to live your life blindly. You were destined to walk as one who hears heaven's rhythmic heartbeat in the wind, who reads profound messages in the movement of the living world. Creation itself is your most powerful ally, the resonant voice of God echoing through every feather, every strand of fur, and every moment of silence. From this very moment forward, you will no longer dismiss what you instinctively feel. You will no longer call coincidence what heaven calls communication. Every single encounter will serve as a powerful reminder that you are fiercely guarded, expertly guided, and profoundly chosen. So, when these divine messengers reappear in your life, do not shrink away in fear. Thank them, for they are irrefutable proof that heaven is still watching you, still actively speaking to you, and still moving the very earth on your behalf. This is your ultimate awakening, the call to walk in divine awareness, to live as one who simply cannot be deceived, because now, even the air around you carries a clear warning before any true danger ever arrives. The chosen are never truly caught by surprise because the light always sends a signal first. And now, that powerful light lives fully and actively in you. So declare it now out loud and with all the power in your spirit. Lord, open my eyes to your signs. Write it as a binding covenant. Speak it aloud as a powerful shield of protection. Because when your eyes are open to the signs, no darkness can ever find you. No deception can ever bind you. No storm can ever break you. The very earth beneath you will rise to protect you. Heaven is already massively moving on your behalf. Stay awake. Stay aligned. Stay chosen. The signs are everywhere you look, and they are speaking directly to you.